Here in the States, the release of Captain America Civil War is imminent, and so I thought it would be a good time to go over what I've learned about some of the upcoming Marvel movies. I did a video like this last year, and now's the time to sort of update it. Obviously, if you're interested in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you already know a lot about this stuff. You've read it over the course of the last months, but again, just sort of think of this as like a news consolidation. Like the man says, if you want to know what Marvel's gonna do, best pay attention to the MCU. No, actually nobody says that. So the next movie to come out after Captain America Civil War is Doctor Strange. The teaser has already been released. It stars Benedict Cumberbatch, of course, as Stephen Strange, who was referenced in The Winter Soldier, and Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, a character who teaches him magic or interdimensional travel or something like that. Yeah, I don't know a lot about the character. What I do know about it is very, very limited to just what I've learned so far about the production. However, Entertainment Weekly did have a picture some months back of Benedict Cumberbatch in costume with a pendant around his neck which has a small glowing green object. I'm thinking, ooh, the Eye of Agamotto. Could this be one of the Infinity Stones, the one that affects time, the Time Stone? The article would suggest that it is, and so that's where we'll be seeing that Infinity Stone, which means there's only one left to be revealed by a Marvel movie before Infinity War gets underway, and that, of course, is the Soul Stone, which will be orange, according to the multimedia presentation put on by Benicio del Toro in Guardians of the Galaxy. Who else is in Doctor Strange? Rachel McAdams, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Amy Landecker, Michael Stuhlbarg from Steve Jobs and A Serious Man, Mads Mikkelsen, and I'm hoping that Elizabeth Olsen gets worked in there somewhere because, you know, she has similar powers, or at least her character does, or she may develop those powers at some point. We'll see. I'm curious about how things are going to go between her and the Vision in Civil War, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm going to be seeing it this Friday. Got my ticket. By the way, the movie is directed by Scott Derrickson, who did The Day the Earth Stood Still, the remake with Keanu Reeves and Jennifer Connelly. So the next one after that is, of course, an entire year from now. First weekend in May, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, directed by James Gunn, who did, of course, the first one, along with Slither, a movie which I really liked. So we've got most of the major people are returning: Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Bradley Cooper, Vin Diesel, Michael Rooker, Glenn Close, Karen Gillian, Josh Brolin, of course, will hopefully have a larger part as Thanos. What they're going to be doing exactly, I'm not sure, but apparently Chris Pratt's character's father, Star-Lord's father, is being played by Kurt Russell, and Nathan Fillion has a part as well, which is great news for me because I love Nathan Fillion. He and James Marsters are my two favorite people that have worked with Joss Whedon. I just love the guy. That's coming out first weekend of May next year. Following that, at the end of July, we have the new standalone Spider-Man movie, which is being made in cooperation with Marvel, the Marvel Studios, as opposed to just being a Columbia picture that has the Marvel logo slapped on it. Tom Holland, of course, is making his Spider-Man debut in Civil War, and he is, of course, the focus is going to be on him. Robert Downey Jr., a.k.a. Tony Stark, is going to be in the movie as well. Marissa Tomei is playing Aunt May, right? Yes. Yeah, sometimes I forget the characters' names. And also, an individual known as Zendaya will also be in the movie. In what capacity, I'm not really sure. The movie is being directed by John Watts, who did the Kevin Bacon thriller Cop Car, which went direct-to-video here. But apparently it was good enough to get him the job here. After that, we've got Thor Ragnarok, which comes out in November of 2017. It's being directed by Taika Waititi. Probably pronouncing that wrong. He is the co-director of What We Do in the Shadows, which was a vampire mock documentary that I really, really liked. Thought it was terrific. We've got the returning people are Chris Hemsworth, Tom Hiddleston, Anthony Hopkins, Idris Elba, Jamie Alexander, Stellan Skarsgård will no doubt be worked in there somewhere. Questionable is Natalie Portman and Kat Dennings. I don't know how much of being in more Marvel movies or Thor movies is a priority for either of them. Hopefully they will, because I like both of them, but it's sort of in doubt. One newcomer is Tessa Thompson from Creed and Dear White People. She's playing a role in some capacity. Maybe she's playing a human, maybe an Asgardian. From what I understand with the plot, very little of any of this movie actually takes place on Earth. It's all about some big calamity happening on Asgard that is going to be quite tumultuous, and one of the things that sort of leads into Infinity War. Maybe Thanos is doing, I don't know, we'll see. Also, another person who's appearing in this movie, Mark Ruffalo, the Hulk, Bruce Banner. He is going to be involved somehow in all the business on Asgard. Don't know a whole lot about that, except that there was a Planet Hulk comic series at one point, and making that movie might prove difficult unless Marvel can get the rights back from Universal, because Universal technically has rights to the Hulk and is only loaning the character out to Marvel Studios as a supporting player in the Avengers movies. That's why Mark Ruffalo has not yet thus far been in a standalone Hulk movie. Also, I just think it's better to have Hulk as sort of a supporting player. Focusing the entire movie around him just hasn't worked out that well the last couple of times. Maybe it could be good, but, better safe than sorry, maybe. I don't know. So that's the last one for 2017, and in 2018, in February, mid-February, we've got Black Panther. Black Panther, of course, is making his debut in Civil War along with Spider-Man. Chadwick Boseman, who played Jackie Robinson in 42, is playing King T'Challa. I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly, but he is the ruling monarch of the South African country Wakanda that produces vibranium, and apparently he's an extremely skilled fighter, and he uses the vibranium to create his Black Panther suit to fight bad guys. So yeah, he'll be in Civil War, and his standalone movie comes out in February, 2 years from now. The movie is directed by Ryan Coogler, who did not only Creed, but Fruitvale Station, both starring Michael B. Jordan. Creed, of course, got a lot of acclaim, so it's great that he got this particular job. Andy Serkis played Claw, the character named Claw. That's Klauw, I think that's how you spell his name. But of course, he got his arm cut off, so he may have an actual claw in the Black Panther movie. Anyway, he's supposed to be in this. The character is anyway. Hopefully that will all work out. As well as Martin Freeman. Martin Freeman makes his MCU debut in Civil War as well, as sort of a liaison from Wakanda, or maybe just like the personal assistant of King T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman's character. So he'll probably be in it. But that's a ways off still. They haven't even started shooting that yet. So it's going to be a while. So the first weekend in May, obviously, of course, another Marvel movie. In 2018 is Avengers Infinity War Part 1, which is being co-directed by Anthony and Joe Russo. Of course, the directors of Civil War and The Winter Soldier are handling both Infinity War movies. Part 1 is 2018, Part 2 a year later in 2019. And that's a huge, huge, huge job. So far, what I've read is that Chris Evans is going to be playing Steve Rogers. Chris Hemsworth is back as Thor in the movie. Josh Brolin as Thanos, of course. And as far as the other characters, I think we can probably count on both Elizabeth Olsen and Benedict Cumberbatch and Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, Scott Lang, in the movie. Mark Ruffalo is a good bet as well. Peter Parker, perhaps. But everybody else is sort of up in the air right now. So far, I haven't heard whether or not Scarlett Johansson or Jeremy Renner or Robert Downey Jr., for that matter, are going to be in the movie. I guess it all depends on how Civil War plays out. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I'll probably revise my speculation after seeing the new movie. A couple of characters that haven't been cast yet that will probably work their way into Infinity War somehow is, one of them is Adam Warlock, aka the Magus, or the Magus. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his name, but he might be the guy in possession of the Soul Stone, the last Infinity Stone. And someone named Mistress Death. Apparently, from what I've read, Thanos, the intergalactic warlord, who's going to be the big antagonist in the Infinity War movies and wants the gauntlet, wants it because he is in love with death. this Mistress Death character is a sort of feminine personification of death, and he is obsessed with her and wants to impress her and win her favor by destroying billions of lives throughout the galaxy. She's apparently not that easily impressed. So the Avengers, they gotta stop Thanos from, wiping out people on Earth, obviously. So that's the plot, as far as I know, just from what I've read from about the comics. That may change, but it looks like things are going that way, based on the fact that Thanos is going to end up being the big bad for, the first 3 phases of the MCU. Following that movie, we've got in July Ant-Man and the Wasp, an Ant-Man sequel, possibly also to be directed by Peyton Reed, Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, and Michael Douglas are all supposed to be coming back for that, or at least one hopes that they will be. That's going to be mid-July of 2018. Following that, the next one, there's a bit of a gap there, is going to be Captain Marvel. The Carol Danvers character. No director so far, no casting so far, although they may announce that soon, because Captain Marvel is supposed to make her first appearance in Infinity War Part 1. At least that is what I've read so far. Again, a lot of this is speculation. No actual confirmation from Kevin Feige or anybody at Marvel Studios. It's just sort of the scuttlebutt. Who should play Carol Danvers? I don't know a lot about that character, but I've read a little bit. But who's to say what they'll do with the character, their version of the MCU? Because some of these characters differ significantly from the comics characters. So after Infinity War Part 2, oh, by the way, Captain Marvel is supposed to come out in March of 2019. That's just 2 months before Infinity War Part 2. So yeah, it would probably be a good idea to have Carol Danvers get a running start in Infinity War Part 1, so we're not introduced to her 2 months before the end of that thing. Now, someone recently posted a video on YouTube in which he speculated that one of the reasons why the Inhumans movie, which was supposed to be the next one to come out after Infinity War Part 2, was taken off the release schedule because Marvel is trying to do the same thing they did with Spider-Man, only with Fox. They are trying to get back the rights to the Fantastic Four characters and the Silver Surfer, and the Silver Surfer is the herald of a character. What's that guy's name? I don't remember. I didn't really see the Fantastic Four movies. They look really bad. But anyway, if they do, they're going to want to make an MCU Fantastic Four, do it the right way, apparently. So whether or not the Inhumans movie is done or not, it will be done eventually, so I've been told. But they might be swapping that out for a Fantastic Four reboot, a MCU-approved Fantastic Four reboot, which will hopefully not be terrible. And if they do, that will come out in July of 2019 or at some point after that. And who knows what films in particular will be made after that. But they have hashed out a few release dates. First Friday in May of 2020, July 10 of 2020, and November 6th of 2020. Those are all scheduled for Marvel releases. As to who's going to be doing that and what they'll be about and anything like that, who knows? But now you're all caught up on everything that's happening in the MCU. Until, of course, Civil War comes out, and then, we'll find out which characters got killed and which ones lived, and then we can speculate further. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you appreciate this. Hope you enjoyed it. I will talk to you again real soon. And stay tuned, of course, because I'm going to be doing a Captain America Civil War review. Hopefully I'll post that on Saturday. Later.